Today I would like to show you an interesting control in Lazarus and Free Pascal, which is the TStringGrid. The TStringGrid is something similar like the Excel or any spreadsheet applications, let's say frame or display. Hi. Today I would like to show you a very interesting control element in Free Pascal and Lazarus, which is the T-string grid. The T-string grid is something similar like what you see in Excel or in a spreadsheet application. So basically it's a kind of grid. That's what his name is suggesting, of course. And this grid is having header rows and column headers, and also you have editable fields, and basically it looks like a simple spreadsheet. So let's start from the beginning here, and let's see where we can find it. So the string read object is inside the additional elements and the additional controls in the title bar or toolbar. And once you add it to the screen or to the form, it looks like really like a spreadsheet, which is completely empty without header, titles, and row numbers. And actually, when you add it to the form, it also doesn't have so much functionality. So if we just run this simple sheet as it is defined, okay, now I already have here the column numbering and row numbering, which I added into the create function, create procedure. But if you don't have it there, then of course nothing happens in the headers. But you can't really do anything else just to move around the cells, but you can't even resize the columns or touch the rows. You can't move them. You can't basically you can't do anything with the control itself. So you need to extend the functionality of the control by yourself. So what you can do at the beginning, of course, you can go to the control element properties. So if you click on the string grid itself, you have the standard, let's say, properties which are saying that how it should look like, how many columns it should have, um, and so on. So basically the standard settings like cursor settings, as you can see, default column width, what you can set up at the beginning, default row height. So these kind of things are just used for the for setting up the standard elements, but it doesn't really give any functionality to the uh, to the to the control itself. So where you need to go is actually this options property here, where you can really add the real functionality to the controls. And these are similar kind of let's say functionalities like what you have in Excel. Like you can resize the columns, you can resize the rows, you can add column titles or row titles or row numberings. You can set up that you can go from one cell to another with pressing the tab button, and so on and so on. So let's see what we can add. So the first one, the always show editor, is basically something where if you click on it and you have the editing also switched on, which is, as you could see, it's by default it's not added. You can also switch this on. So if you say that the editor should be also shown, or always shown, and if you set also the go editing to true, then you already reach that you can edit into the fields, and whenever you click in them, it's already going into edit mode. So you can see the cursor and you can type in the value what you want. If you switch off this always show editor function, then when you run the application, you can see this let's say active cell um, marking, and if you go from one cell to another, the marking moves, and to go into edit mode, you need to double click into that cell. The next one is the go add rows, go auto add rows. Here it doesn't work by itself. You need to also add the go auto add rows skip content check thing, because otherwise the add row is not working. But before I want to show this functionality, we should also go to the Go tabs. So here the Go tabs property, we should also set it to true, because this will give us the option that we can move from one uh, cell to the other with the tab, and when we are entering the last cell, um, or we are stepping out from the last cell of the control, then the control itself, so the t-string control, adding an additional row to the end of the rows in the list. So if we run it, and you can see we have only 4 active columns and or active rows, and if we go with the top, but let's go to the last one, we go here, and then the fifth tab or fifth row is also added. But as you can see, we don't have uh, the the column numbered automatically, and this is because we just or I just added the setup headers and added to the setup header procedure to the form create procedure here. So once we go through this and we get at first the first 5 rows and 5 columns, then the setup headers will only work for that, and I never call it again. So whenever an additional column is added, then or an additional row is added, then nothing happens. So let's go next to this one. So we have the row numbering somewhere. We need to find it because it's not in the right order. Here, go fixed row numbering. So if we switch this on, and then we run again the application, and we go to the last step, and then you can see that we get the row 5 added, and so on and so on. So now the row numbers are automatically added. Okay, so then let's see. Let's check the column sizing. So as you could see, we couldn't size the columns and the rows. So if we want to do this, we need to add the Go column sizing. And also let's see row sizing. So if we add these two, we will be able to size the columns whatever we want, but we will not have the chance to automatically size these columns, and we will also not have the chance to size the first column, which is the header column for the row numbering. So this one we will not be able to do, but of course we can size the rows as well. To get the first column resizable, we have here this go fixed column sizing. So once we add this one, then we will be able to size the first column as well. Okay, what is the next one? Let's see, row moving and column moving. So once we add these, we will be able to move the column or the rows. As you can see that the numbering remains, so whatever we added to this row, this remain. So if we would like to uh, change this, then we should implement the auto row numbering, because as you will see here, if I'm adding new rows and I'm moving this row here to the first row, then it will get the number for number one. But this one was manually numbered, and this will move with the row itself. And this is the same for the columns. So here we numbered it from 1 to 4, and we can move them, and the column title will also move with these columns. But here we don't have the chance to automatically add columns to the spreadsheet. But of course, you can add columns. You might implement an additional uh, procedure for that, and then of course you can add the column to the last one, or you can insert a column before the before a column, and so on. So you can do this, of course, programmatically. Okay, what else we have here? We have row select functions, but I think we touched all the important ones, which are really, let's say, could have uh, the the whole thing a bit more handy and more usable. So now how you can get to the cells themselves. So it's very easy, because the grid itself, I mean the T-string grid, which I called simply grid here, you can target, or you can add the um, cell content simply using this cells uh, um, array, and the array, the first row and the first column is a header column, and of course you can increase the number of headers. So if you add these to the properties, so here let's see here, so if you have the fixed columns and fixed rows increase to 2 or 3 or whatever you want, then you can have more headers, of course. But typically only one header row used in a spreadsheet application. Of course, if you want to make a different kind of solution, then of course you can increase the number of these headers. And of course, you need to know that uh, that from which you should start to make the headings. Okay, so here, as you can see, when I'm running the setup headers, I'm addressing the array at the 0 column and 0 row, and then I'm simply putting the number, which is the number of that row or the number of that column, into the cell itself. Okay, the next thing is that, of course, when you are editing a cell, you should know if you enter a number, or if you enter a text, or if you enter a formula, and to get this in Excel, when you do this, of course, the editing of the cell itself is not validated immediately, and so you can just simply enter what you want, and once you finalize the cell, so you step out of it, or you press an enter, then the content is checked, and then the system is deciding if it is a formula, or if it is a text, or if it is a date value, or if it is a number, and then you can, let's say, work with these cells according to their contents. Of course, here I'm not going into these details because here let's say the main reason of this tutorial is to show how the T-string control is T-string grid control is working, and how you can do some basic things with it. But the aim is not to create a complete Excel application, of course. So, but one thing we should touch here, of course, is that what happens if you are editing a field. So if you are going into the cell and you start to edit something. So for that, you have a procedure here which you can use for that, and this is the T-form grid select editor, which is actually a link or can be a link to the on select editor event. So when you basically enter into the cell and you start to edit, you can see the cursor and you can start to type into the editor, and basically this on select editor is giving you back an editor function or an editor control, and also it tells you that in which column and row you are working. And however, you don't really need to take care about this column and row information right now, because the editor itself is taking care about entering the value into the cell after you edit it. So basically, it is copying the value of a T custom edit control text element into that cell, and then it's just using it as a kind of label. Okay, so but what you can do here is, of course, depending on what is the content of your cell, or if you predefine that, what kind of control or what kind of entry can be added to this cell. Then you can also define how you want to handle the content or the typing or the user interaction to the cell editor itself. So what I did here is that I was basically making a typing validation or typing check, and I don't want to use anything else into this field, just numbers. So to do this, when we are entering the cell itself in editor mode, then this will call this procedure, and we will get the editor control itself. And here we should check that if this editor is a custom edit object, or actually it should be, but it can happen that you might link something else to the cell, and then or you link a different editor to the cell, then you can already differentiate between these editors here. So because we have here a T custom edit control, we link this T custom edit, or we basically cast this editor as a T custom edit object to the editor variable itself, to be able to add some properties to it. And the first property here is that the cell will only accept 10 characters or 10 digits here. Actually, I would say 10 characters, because we will accept, or the editor will accept also the minus sign and also the decimal separator. And then I also add here the on key press event. So whenever a key is pressed inside the editor, it should call this grid editor key press procedure, which is basically uh, doing the validation of the key entries. So if the key what you entered is a 0 or between 0 and 9, then that's okay, that's acceptable. If it is a decimal separator, then it's also acceptable. If it is a minus sign, then that is also acceptable. And if it is outside of these characters, and actually delete or backspace is also accepted, because if you want to delete something, then you should be able to do that. So the backspace is also added to this list. So, but if it is outside of these keystrokes, then this procedure will give back for the key variable uh, a 0 value, and basically it will be canceling the entry. And then the next checkings are just that if the decimal separator is at the right place, or at the minus sign is at the beginning of the string. If it is not there, then of course we should also ignore this keystroke. So I didn't show it before, but because this was already set up, if we go inside and start to type some letters, now I'm typing some letters, but as you can see, nothing happens here. So the cell itself is not accepting these keystrokes. But if I'm starting to add numbers here, or a decimal separator, and actually the decimal separator must be the standard system defined decimal separator, and this one is of course can be entered, but cannot be entered twice. So even if I'm trying to type twice, it's not entering. And now I can add some more, and if I press the backspace, then I can delete back. And of course I can go to the first jumped out, sorry. So if I go to the first character and press a minus, then I can also enter it. And once I click out from the cell, you can see that the editor function is basically stopping, exiting, and then you can only see the variable. Okay, one thing I think we didn't touch when I was talking about the different options, but I should show it now. So as you could see, I could resize the column, but I was not able to auto resize the column. So here we have the double click auto size. So basically this should help us to resize the column. So if I'm adding a longer number, and then I jump out and I double click on the size, and it's automatically showing the full size of the cell. And of course, if I would have more cells, then it would be possible to add. And also there is a sorting function, which I also did not mention, but okay, I did not add it. So if I'm typing it right now, then it will not work. But we should have here a sorting one. Okay, so it's not under the options button in the general properties. So if I'm clicking it to true and I'm running it again, typing in here 2, 3, 1, 4, and double click on the column, it was already sorting this column, as you can see, is ascending or descending. So this one is really a handy thing, but as you can see that it doesn't really work if I'm using it here on this on the second column. So you need to have some content inside the column to work to get it work properly. If I'm going into another column, it is going back to its original state, let's say, and switching back to the previous one. So of course this need to be checked if it is really working correctly, or you might need to do some tweaking on it. So as you can or you could see that we have some events here what we can define as well. So for example, the on button click, on cell process. So basically, when you want to process some cells, um, you can also get a procedure code for that, or if the grid size is changing, or a row moved, or as you can see, whatever is defined here is can be an additional, let's say, function what you want to, or functionality what you want to add to your to your application. But this is not only, let's say, uh, valid for this one, because if you want to go um, into the coding itself, and you type the control, um, and check what kind of procedures, properties and others are having for this control itself, you can see that there are many things what you can use, not just in design time, but of course in the coding. So for example, here the first interesting one is the that you can load CSV files into the grid, and and also you can save CSV files out from the grid. And then you can move the CSV file from this application to Excel, or any other spreadsheet application which is capable to handle the file. You can see that there is a clipboard copy function which you can use programmatically. You can insert rows with values. So many different functions and procedures which are usable. Delete columns, delete row. And so on. So basically, um, if you want to go deep inside this control, and you want to use as many functionalities as possible from the control itself, you need to go into the documentation, and then need to go through each and every possibilities, and then you can think about it how you can use it. With this tutorial, I just wanted to show you that there is also um, let's say, a very interesting control exists inside the Free Pascal and Lazarus, and you can start to develop your own application with it, uh, step by step, adding new functionalities to your application. Um, and even if you want, you can create a complete new Excel application, or spreadsheet application by yourself. So that's all about the TStringGrid. I hope it gave you some basic hints how you can get to this object, and how you can build your own application. And if you enjoyed the tutorial, don't forget to subscribe. So have fun, and goodbye.